real simple. I love the movie Cool Hand Luke, in that you'll hear Luke being told several times, Luke, get your mind right. It's not the Luke that you're thinking of in Star Wars. This is actually the movie Cool Hand Luke, and that's what we teach our agents. And we've got tremendous marketers that will do that. They will work with you. Right? It has everything to do, as you can see with the percentages, with having the right mindset. 80% of the time that you're sitting down with a client, it's not because you didn't know your product, or you didn't have the right product, or you didn't have the right, you got stinking thinking. Get out of that, get in the right mindset, then understand the in-home presentation. We even have a PowerPoint for that to help you go slide by slide, so that a new agent will, day one, be able to go and present this, and 50% of the time he'll stumble and she will stumble, yet they'll get a sale 50% of the time with that in-home PowerPoint presentation or flip chart that we can. At the time, it's knowledge. You got to understand your underwriting. You've got to understand the product, but it's 5% of your mind. I guess if we were not waiting for our life experience, we'd like to keep things simple, I guess I would say our top priority is that bottom line on that slide that says fall in love with the basics. Make sure that you're falling in love with a very simple, basic understanding of what this is. Our mortgage protection rate programs, we're leaving it out there. It's going to be on our website. I have personally been able to have a personal relationship with them because I still like it to understand. In 2013, 60 hours paid. What most of you are going to be on our street contract, anywhere from 70 to 100 to 110%. That says about major volume of money that a lot of folks, they're always looking for that six figures. I've surpassed that very easily with both positions. My full-time job.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tim Lankford, and I welcome you to our Tuesday webinar. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m., you can meet us here from headquarters in the central state, or in the center of the state of Indiana, here at Gordon Marketing. We've got agents all across the nation who have already joined us, and look forward to being able to pour into you this morning on a follow-up. You heard some cheerleading from last week of you can do $116,000 this year in personal income. There is no doubt in my mind for those who are listening right now, if you are able body and able mind, and I will even say for some of us, including me in there, a feeble mind, that you can go and protect people with mortgage protection, that you can go out starting this afternoon by making a simple phone call to Phoenix. They will send you an application. You call Phoenix, they'll send you an application. You go and you contact me or contact my assistant, Rhonda Butler, and we can give you the pricing calculator. You can actually go out this afternoon and write an application for Phoenix, one of the absolute best products out there for mortgage protection. And you can go do it right now. You send it in to us, and then we will send you some contracting paperwork because they are a just-in-time carrier. You can go and write business today. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to get a writing number or get contracted. That all comes in the process. Now understand, it's still going to take 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to get this first application all submitted, approved, get your contracting in. But once you get it in, I am seeing now within 5 days of business being submitted to Phoenix, being approved and paid for. That's exciting to see. With several of our other carriers, it's literally within 2 days. You heard my illustration of 2 weeks ago when I wrote 7 applications with Mutual of Omaha on their e-application. I was paid for it by Wednesday of that following week. Our next step What is your next step? Going from here, let's look at, oh, my little quip. We always hear about the blood, sweat, and tears. I believe in that wholeheartedly when we start talking about mortgage protection. Real quick, we're going to move pretty quickly, so I probably won't go into a lot of questions, but I will send you per my email out to you. You will get not only this PowerPoint, but you'll get our entire agent manual, even without being contracted with us. Of course, I want you contracted with us. That's going to be my keynote. If you're contracted with us, you bet. I will give you a one-on-one conversation. Make sure that you're on one of the. We're building a team now of 4 other, whom I will call lieutenants, whom I am entrusting your business into their hands also, whom I am personally training that we will continue to pour into you. You need to know your pace. If you're going to take the next step in this business, you've got to know your product. From knowing your product, you've got to know your providers. You can't do anything without the product without a provider. I'll go into that in a few slides here. Knowing your providers, well, it doesn't do any good to be all gussied up and pretty for the dance if you don't have a dance partner. You need to know your prospect. And again, you don't do any good with that prospect if you don't have pricing calculators, if you don't have rate sheets, if you don't have the price, you're not going anywhere. Understand the presentation. Everybody on this call will get my word for word in-home presentation. Am I, the second coming of Christ? Oh, heavens no. Please, please don't. If I ever come off it with that, hold me accountable. Say, Tim, ease down. Guys, I am literally, I'll evoke Paul's word. I am nothing without Christ. And I mean nothing. If it wasn't for him, and my goodness, I do everything I can to try to keep my stupidity out of the way of helping other people. If I'm being stupid, look at me, and I'm okay with saying, Tim, you're being stupid. Say it with a smile on your face, but I will take criticism every day. I am so far from where I'm going to be, not so far from where I want to be. Okay? I'm so far from where I'm going to be because I'm reading every day. I'm praying every day. We're going through the book with my daughter. If you ever heard of a literally it's called The Story, but it's a chronological events of the Bible. I wish I had this when I was reading the Bible through the first time when I was 12, but I am doing that every night with my 9-year-old daughter. You've got to know your presentation. Does no good without your presentation. And now let's commit to a plan. Let's jump right into the pace. If you don't have these very few facts in your life, in your focus, you're going to miserably fail in this business. You've got to have a sense of urgency. When you get a lead or you have somebody to talk to, please, please don't put that on a shelf. We believe that first in wins. On our lead program, if you choose to be a part of our lead program, and oh my goodness, bless you if you don't need leads, you will have a higher return of income against your cost than what I do. I still need leads in order to go out and write business. I love referrals. I love a book of business. I still live on a weekly basis because, you see, I'm still writing this business. Very little of it right now. For the last 5 years, I've worked no more than 2 days a week, and I've done over $100,000 every year. My best year was $178,000 working this business for 2 days a week. A year and a half ago, it was $155,000. This year, it looks like we've ended up right at the six-figure mark. Looks like we're going to barely creep over. So I can say I've continued to do 6 figures in this business. But this year, I've only done about a half of a day a week. I am doing everything to pour myself into our agents and being available 5 and 6 days a week for you, and loving to see the results. But I continue to have a sense of urgency. And my goodness, if you guys don't keep it simple, I will never say this business is easy because you got to get out of bed. Sometimes that's the hardest part of your day. But if you get out of bed, you go and you follow these steps. You don't have to think about it being easy, but I will argue tooth and nail this business is simple. Oh my goodness, this business is simple. You go out and you bleed on your client, meaning that, of course, just in a figurative way, but you go out and you pour into your client. You let them see your passion, your care for that, for their life and for their family. You bleed on them. You never ask them to bleed on you. So simple not only means that you keep it very, I'm going to follow these steps. I am a robot, and yet you do it with your spirit, with your attitude. There is no limit to this. Fail fast, act fast. I definitely would rather feel the pain of activity than the pain of regret. Short-term goal, make $100,000 in addition to what I'm doing right now. That was my short-term goal when I entered this business 6 years ago. I've been in the business insurance for over 20 years, but only in the mortgage protection business for the last 6 years. Looking for a commitment. If you can make more of a commitment than 2 days a week, how many families can you sit down? How many clients can you help in a week? I don't have this down, but oh my goodness, I want you, this is all being recorded, so you can refer back to this at any time. But when you start talking about goals and dreams, oh, I absolutely love this. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. What are you dreaming about? What are you wanting to achieve for your family? Every year, the first week after Thanksgiving, I take my family on a once in a lifetime trip to Disney World. To us, we feel very blessed. It happens every year. We spend anywhere from about $8,000 to $12,000 every year at Disney World. That was a dream of mine for several years. It now is a goal because now it's already established in our family traditions. Where will we be at the week after Thanksgiving? A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps. That's what you're getting here. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dream come true. You're going to get this. You can manipulate this to your goals, your ambitions. Maybe it's only to make an extra $20,000. Maybe just looking for an extra $500 a week. What does that work out to be? About $25,000, about $20,000 after expenses, after your gas and after your few leads that you're buying. Because goodness, you're going to buy one or two, maybe 3 leads a week, and you're going to make that $500 extra per week. But plug whatever numbers you want in here. This will be able to be adjusted when you get this PowerPoint. You'll be able to put in your own numbers. Now, you want to be on that $116,000 pace. Right here it is, guys. You want to have a minimum of 12 new leads a week. And if you've got to modify it because, our lead team, when you're coordinating with Holly, with our lead team, she's saying that you're only going to get 5 to 10. Well, I know you guys are looking to supplement that with aged leads, or what we call B leads, but you've got 10 appointments a week. Let's go ahead and consider that you're going to have a very high no-show rate. If you follow my system, I will teach you next week how to tie down the appointment. Next week, you're going to get live phone calls from this chair. Next Tuesday, a week from today, you'll hear me call on the leads that I've received in the previous week. I don't know how it'll go. Sometimes it'll be an embarrassment, and I'm okay with that. I'll put my laundry out for everyone to see that, hey, you're going to fail in this business. But you remember on the previous slide, fail fast. I want to fail as quickly as I can because I know the more times I fail, the closer I'm getting to not failing. 10 appointments a week, 2 no-shows. So you're going to sit with 8 families. Of those 8 families, let's just say you help 3 families. I don't have that in here, but let's say you're below average and you can't help even half of the people you sit with. That's okay. Maybe going out, you go 0 for 8. The first time I went 0 for 9. Me, Mr. Professional, 6 years ago, after being in the insurance business, commercial industrial side of things for 17 years, me, no, I didn't go over. Yes, I did. I went 0 for 9. And it was becoming a very I thought, just like it when I sat down with business owners and managers, this was a transactional sale. I did the Benjamin Franklin close. I did the pro and con close. Guys, see why this makes sense. Here, sign here. Excuse me. That's not this business. It's not transactional. You're not sitting with people who just thinking of black and white. They didn't send in this lead because this is the right thing to do because it makes sense to my budget. That's not their attitude. Why they're filling this out was, hey, I love my wife. I love my husband. I don't want them to lose this house, him or her to lose this house when I don't come home tomorrow night, if I get killed by a drunk driver driving into the side of my car. Real things happen. So I'm gonna just write 5 applications on 3 families that I help. So of these 5 applications, an average in this business in the suburbs, not in the downtown cities, but in the suburbs of $60 a month in premium. If you remember from last week, I told you that when you're sitting down with this is cold and transactional, a buying unit. One husband, 1 buying unit, wife, buying unit. So when you have 2 buying units, boy, I feel like I'm back in the Star Wars good movie. $86 a month. Look at that buying unit as $100 a month per person. My premium is $86 a month. This year it took a little bit of a hit because I went ahead and did where I didn't want to harm my agents around me getting leads in the suburbs. So I'm pretty much in downtown Indianapolis. But that's okay. Even in downtown Indianapolis, my average premium is a little over $60 a month. So it dropped this year from previous years of $86. So I'm going to put you in that $60 of monthly premium in 12 months. So in a week, what you're submitting is $3,600. Well, I'm just going to put you at a contract level of 90%, and I'm going to follow this out. I'm not going to go into this any further because we kind of went through this last week, but know your pace. Here's your product, guys, straight up. A little bit of Axi, a little bit of term, a little bit of perm. A little bit of Axi, a little bit of term, a little bit of perm. What do I mean by that? I want you to be able to, every client you sit with, either with Phoenix, Mutual Omaha, Columbian Financial Group, or you could slash and put Gerber in there, or if you're sitting with those 25 to 45-year-olds, after you write a simplified issue term on that family, on that new lead that you got in the mail, and of course a lead is a sale through North American. That's a fully underwritten product. So, oh my gosh, guys, be very careful with that down there. Phoenix, Mutual Omaha, Columbian Financial Group, and Gerber, all simplified issue. But these are the carriers that I want you to be able to be contracted with. A little bit of Axi, every one of these folks, and you will receive my in-home form. You received it last week, but I'll make sure that everyone on this call gets my in-home form where on the one side is a fact finder. Within 45 minutes, you should be walking out of that home with 1 application. It's going to take you about an hour and 10 minutes, just like I did on 4 times on Saturday. Oh, Saturday is the day after New Year. There's no way. I had 5 appointments on Saturday. I helped 4 families, guys, for a little over $7,000. I still write this business. I'm on a decent track this year. Since this week, I've written $7,000. Multiply that times 52 weeks. Come on, guys. I know you can do this. I'm going to be a little bit of a cheerleader with you, too. You can do this. I helped 4 of those families that I sat with. And I wrote a couple accidental on the same folks that I wrote a term on. And then I didn't write any perm or final expense this weekend, but I wrote, I want to say, I think it was just the 2 accidentals and six term policies, and a couple with Phoenix and the rest with Mutual of Omaha. Know your product. There's who you want to get contracted with. Straight up, what's the best choices for Phoenix? Still the best choice for simplified issue term. Going from age 80, yes, you see it, till age 18 to age 80, up to $500,000 of simplified issue business. Other words, you're going in, and if you can, stick with that, with the Phoenix, without going into describing Phoenix. We'll do that in a couple weeks, and I'll have a Phoenix exec back on. But you want to go in and still look at that express route. So you can write Phoenix with Phoenix Safe Harbor Express, Phoenix Safe Harbor Term. Term is going to be the least expensive coverage that you can get for your agent anywhere around, because its chassis is on a standard, fully underwritten guideline. Hear me out there. So on that chassis, on the Phoenix Simplified Issue Term, it will be 20% lower than anyone else. Mutual of Omaha, Americo, goodness, 45% lower than Americo. American Amicable, Mutual of Omaha. It'll still be anywhere, we'll even go on the low side, 10% to 45% on average, about 20% lower than everyone else. So I lead with Phoenix, and I love it for their living benefits. You can write, or it includes already, when it has that lower price, it includes a chronic and a critical care, as well as terminal, as well as accelerated. Nobody else does that in the business. I love Phoenix. If you're looking to be paid within the next couple weeks, then you want to go to your second choice. Mutual of Omaha is turning out the business. You go write an e-app on Mutual of Omaha, you're guaranteed within 48 hours to have an answer. And then typically you will be able to go to a, just lost my thought because John hit me a question. My Phoenix app only shows up to 400,000. John, it goes up to 500,000 for less than age 50. So depending on the age, your dollar amount will be adjusted, as well as from express to term. So it's just speaking the big window here, it goes up to 500,000. But if you're sitting with a 70-year-old, now you ain't going to get 500,000, guys. Do your application, and on your calculator, you put a 70-year-old in, and you can do a 10-year term for $100,000, though. I just did that the week before Christmas. And that was the one that I just got. I wrote in 1 week. I got paid in the same week from Phoenix. That was over $2,000. Marty was her name, without giving her last name. Wanted $250 a week. You know what? I'm going back this evening. Why I'm thinking of her name, because she asked me, and she said, you know what? I'm just doing 140,000. I think I want to do 165,000. So I'm going to go back and do a change order. Within 90 days, you can do that. I'm going to do a change order from the $250 a month, and she wants to do $300 a month. You want those clients, don't you? So I just picked up another $600, $700 from her, saying, you know what? I think I want to increase. Okay, we've got to keep going here. Sorry, guys. And then CFG as well as Gerber, they are guaranteed issue. Oh my goodness, the contract levels, I'll just say it straight up, they suck. However, they will be able to guarantee you can get coverage for your clients. So you'll be able to, on a CFG, Columbian Financial Group, or a Gerber, somebody who will not qualify for anything else. It is more difficult to qualify for a simplified issue term than it is for final expense. Simplified issue term, you're not going to be able to qualify if you've had any heart issues. I feel like I'm speaking so fast here, but I want to get through this. I don't want to take an hour of your time. We're going to break by wherever we're at. I'm going to break at 11:45. So with CFG as well as Gerber, Gerber just starts at age 40. So I love CFG because they will go down to age 25. It's just Gerber is going to be better pricing. Again, the contract level, they both suck on that, but you're going to be able to get your client protected. You're going to be able to make money. Don't walk out of that home without at least getting the guaranteed issue in place. Real quick snapshot on that. Know your product. Understand what guaranteed issue is. You're able to say, "Hey guys, I'm going to the folks that you're sitting with, the family you're trying to protect, and you found out that they've had a heart attack a year ago, or cancer within the last 2 years, or whatever would not allow them to at least get a final expense." You can offer them, "I'm going to offer you a guaranteed savings. This is going to be a savings on steroids. You put this same money that we're going to talk about in the bank, you're going to earn less than 1%. With this method I'm going to show you, you're going to gain a minimum of 10% interest on your money should you die within the next 2 years, John. Here, John, we're going to be able to get you protected with a world-renowned company called Gerber. This $10,000 is going to cost you, let's arbitrarily say, $100 a month. Now that $100 a month will bless Margaret, your wife here. If you die within a year, she's going to be able to get $1,200 plus 10%. Better money than what you could do in the bank. However, you're promising her you're going to live at least 2 years in one day, right, John? And then you smile. Yeah, you've got more than that, but we don't know, do we? But let's say you live 2 years in one day, then this, instead of it being $2,400, you've just blessed your bride with $10,000. Does that make sense? Very, very good. Let's see. Here we go. Know your providers. Where are you going to go for your leads? I'm enthralled with Mailco and Leadco for age leads. Probably putting Leadco right up there as number one. If you've not got Tom Westcott's phone number from me, I just had one of our agents here in Indianapolis, Kim Hindy, who just went and bought 40 age leads from Tom, and that's going to cost him, what, about $200. You get 5 new leads from us. You just spent $200. So you got 5 leads from us, 40 leads from Tom. I like your chances. If you're not real skilled in this business yet, you don't have a good cash flow yet, then I'm going to suggest you to go over to the aged leads so that you can practice on getting in the door, sitting with the families, getting them protected, even though they've had 2 or 3 other agents call. Are you guys calling me again? Anyhow, we'll talk about that next week on phone scripts that I'll send out for aged leads. With Gordon Marketing, we've teamed up with 2 other FMOs. We've got the premier lead program in the entire nation. Not going to go into that any further than just that there. Datalot's another option. Know your prospect. I hate that word, but we'll call them a prospect. Real quickly, you're going to get this, so I'm not going to go through each one of these, and you'll hear this on my call next week. I'm going to go through specifically how I set appointments from leads. I'll even try to pull out some aged leads so that you can hear me calling on leads that are 2 years old. Yes, even 2-year-old leads. You usually have to go through 10, 15, or 20, sometimes just even catch somebody at home, but you can get those leads for like $1 a piece. So you've got lots of options out there. If you have more time, I have very limited time. My time is very limited, so I've got to go to the new leads, somebody who is already, somebody who just sent in a response form. Hey, yes, I'm interested in talking to you. I like that. That's real nice and easy. However, I want to make sure that you go back to a newer lead if you can, already are not tremendously in debt and falling down. Let's get you some age leads to be able to get some cash flow going. Last time Kim did that before moving out to Colorado here a few months ago, I think he turned in $190 worth of expenses on leads, and I want to say it was between $2,000 and $3,000 that he got paid on. That's a nice ROI, return on investment. People don't buy based on price or just because of price. They don't buy because of one of those 3 reasons there, either the price or the product or the person. In knowing your price, I need you to understand that people aren't buying just because of the price. Guys, we have the best prices out there. Even if you've got to go back with telling your client F you to your client, remember, church background, my FU is fully underwritten. even if you go the fully underwritten route and you're going to get half of your business placed that way, just saying. So if you're foolish enough to go over to the fully underwritten route, then you've got the best pricing of anything out there, of anybody can offer to your clients, and yet they still don't buy. What's going on? It can't be the product. We've got the most premier product in the nation. So you know where I'm going with this, right? Most of the time, an agent just needs to be more user-friendly in the home, showing them your not only compassion, but your passion to help them. Price product in person. Know your price. Download your pricing calculators. You email me, tell me that you need the pricing calculator from Phoenix, from Mutual Omaha. Very, very simple. Follow here's your price. These are your steps. Follow the in-home fact finder. Offer 2 solutions. When you you flip over the in-home fact finder, and you can find that right on our website. When you go out to www.gordonmarketing.com, you hover your cursor over the life. There's a blue ribbon that talks about life and E&O and legals and trips, and you'll see that blue ribbon through the middle. You see the word life. Just hover your cursor over that life tab. You'll see a drop-down box. One of the top choices will be mortgage protection selling system. Click on there, and then you will immediately go over to the in-home fact finder and some other forms right on there, webinars that we have recorded, just like we're recording this one, and you'll see that in-home fact finder. When you flip it over, you see I quote every home, every person I sit with. One price for the accidental, one price for the full value. Again, I'll go into that a little bit more next week, but don't fill out all of those slots. Don't confuse the folks you're sitting with. Remember, keep it simple. Fall in love with the basics, and I give them one price for the accidental, one price for the full value. And then I go over to the wife or the husband, one price for the accidental, one price for the full value. I circle the 2 of them together and I say, John, how does $100 a month for $500,000 work for your budget? Now we want to, and I'll just keep going and say, Joan, here yours comes up to $60 a month. So we're looking at $160 a month for $1 million worth of coverage. 250 on the accidental, 250 on the term for John, the same for his wife. That's $1 million, guys, for $160 a month of coverage. How does that? Anyhow, there's knowing your price, and there's a little bit of my in-home presentation. And I don't not going into the final expense during this presentation, but and I don't give them the full mortgage price. I try to give them a 75%. You look at that form, you'll understand, but I talk about 100%, 75%, 50% quote. I usually try to do either 75% or 50% of the mortgage amount, so that I can move up or down, and I'll look at the folks I'm trying to protect and say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, for half of the mortgage coverage, because most people don't, and I'll give the guy an out a little bit. Usually it's us guys that have the bravado. Oh no, I'm not going to pay that amount. I can't afford it. So I'm going to give him an out. And I'll say most folks don't do the full mortgage amount. So this is our initial step to be able to get to know each other. This is your price for half of the mortgage. How does that work in your budget? And know your presentation. If you will follow these steps, right here they are. You follow those 6 steps, you will be minimally an average agent. Minimally. And in my understanding of what an average agent is, and in my opinion of what an average agent is, you're helping half the people that you sit with. That's all. You are helping just half of the people that you sit with. That's average. So of those 8 families that you sat with, I would expect you to minimally be able to help 4 of them. Half of the people that you're sitting with. If you're able to go over and help any more than that, that would be tremendous. But minimally, you should be able to help at least half of the people that you sit with. Without going into each one of those steps, want to answer a couple questions here. Yeah, bond and rapport. Just real quickly. Okay, maybe we've got a few minutes here. I'll go over my bonding rapport starts when I'm pulling up into the front of the house. When I'm calling, and you'll hear it next week when I talk about is it okay to park in your driveway or should I park on the street? 99% of the time, I'm parking on the street. My car doesn't leak oil, but the day that I would pull into a client's driveway and their cement driveway, guess what? You just made that sale. You left a real bad taste in their mouths as you pull out and they see a big old puddle of oil in their driveway. Park on the street unless it's unsafe or you're a mile off the road. Park on the driveway. That's a part of my immediate rapport because as I get out of the car, I'll wave, then I'll pull my one little notebook out, not my suitcase. So I'm walking up to the door, and I'm standing 50% away from it, facing another direction after I knock. So when they answer the door, I wave because they're 90% of the time they're looking for me. I've even had clients tell me, well, if you didn't see us, we don't think we probably would have even answered the door. I don't see them when I'm waving. It looks like probably a dork move, but I get out of the car and I wave. And again, just little things like that. I find the pain. So I'm going to the door. I'm taking off my shoes, or at least in the motion of taking off my shoes. I don't want to, but I'm taking off my shoes to show respect. And I'll look up and with my little beady eyes of saying, should I leave my shoes here at the door? I don't want them to say, yeah, I want them to say, oh, no, don't worry about that. I'll continue. And especially if it's the husband, I'll say, I don't want to get in trouble with the wife. We're leaving the shoes here. No, I said, and so anyhow, I'm finding a way to gain rapport. I'm looking for their wall of fame. Find the pain. Immediately as I'm sitting down, I've got my in-home form sitting on top of my notebook there, and I'm sitting with the lead form right in front. They see why I'm there. They know why I'm there, but I immediately want to find the pain. We'll talk about that at a different time. And within 15 minutes, because remember, next week they will hear from me. You will hear me setting appointments saying that my name is Tim Lankford. I'm with, not going to go there, but I will set the appointment and just specifically tell them, give me about 15 minutes, get the information in your hands. If you're able to do something with it, great. But let's sit down for 15 minutes. I'm looking for a sit down. I'm not looking to drop off information at the door. I'm not getting porch. I'm sitting, whether it's in their living room or at their table, but I'm within 15 minutes. Hey, John and Mary, I see why you brought me here. I see how we can offer a couple things that can help you sleep better at night. I'm at my 15-minute mark. I'm a man of my word. I told you on the phone last night because I called within 48 hours. I told you on the phone last night that I set the appointment within 40 hours, that I would take no more than 15 minutes. I'm at that 15-minute mark. I see some options and opportunities to help you. With your permission, I'll go on a little bit further. We may have about maybe another 15 or 20 minutes. Is that okay with you? Be a man and a woman of your word. As soon as they say yes, I get the upfront contract right then and there. Once they say yes, before I move any further, we'll talk about that next week of how I get the upfront contract. And then the fulfillment is just presenting a solution. You're turning, after you go through the rest of your fact finder, you turn it over and say, okay, guys, here's the solution. Confirming the sale. If you're getting some fall out because of people canceling on you or not taking the policy, we're not confirming the sale hard enough. You've got to be sitting down. I'd rather take a little bit of premium than a lot of premium that's going to be canceled. I'd rather take a little bit now than have something that would like I'm going back. And I was struggling. I mean, this is a widow, but she moved me up. I started with $75 with Marcia that I'm sitting with this evening, going from $250. She wants to move up to $300 now. I started at $50 a month. She's 71 years old and a widow. That's where I started. And I showed her what her options were. Then she's the one that said, well, what could I come back and get for 100? Then she bumped to 200. Then it was just like, okay, if I do 100,000, how much is that? It's $250. Will that fit in your budget? Yes, I won't have a problem with that. She's already made a payment on that. And now I'm going back tonight. Anyhow, you confirm that sale. You put your application, your voided check. See, I've got the voided check at this point, and you put all that together. You push it over across the table to your client and say, I know it was probably tough coming through Christmas, and now you're trying to catch up on some bills. I want to make sure this is the right thing. So I'm pushing this closer to you than to me because we can change anything in that questionnaire we just filled out. See, I don't call it applications. We can we can change anything in that questionnaire. If it's not the right timing, you tell me. Now, you see, now I've already gone through and confirmed and confirmed and confirmed. And now I want them one last confirm. And guys, I still have cancellations, but my persistency rate for 2016, in other words, the applications that stuck, stayed on the book, was 92%. I know what I'm doing when it comes to confirming the sale. You should not be having people canceling on you left and right. All it needs is a little tweaking. That's all we need to do. Let's just do a little bit of tweaking and say, now, wait a minute, let's push it across the table. What's the right thing for your family? How's this going to work when you're going to be coming up for maybe a springtime vacation? You tell me, will this still work in your budget? When I've confirmed that sale, it's locked in. And then my follow-up and follow-through, within 48 hours, they get a phone call. Typically within 24 hours, I'm making the phone call, or someone on my staff is making a phone call within 48 hours. Hey, just letting you know everything's been submitted. I'm not calling to say, have you changed your mind? But that's what this is, buyer's remorse. I am calling to verify with them, hey, is everything good still? My follow through is, then they also get a postcard. My follow through is, anyhow, I'm not going into it any further there, but know your presentation, know your plan. Straight up, guys, winding this to a close here. Phoenix does a tremendous job with why do people lose their home. The number one reason why people lost their home in 2015 was due to a disability. Number one reason, either a sickness or they got hurt, but it affected their income. So you can kind of put that with number three, but that number three still wasn't the number one reason. No, it's not people who have lost their job, but it comes after death. Whose death? The husband or the wife? Take this so seriously, guys. Know your plan. With this sense of urgency, show your folks that you're sitting with how we can help them through all of these things. Don't think about the persons in the White House trying to help you the most. The person who can have the biggest difference in your life, in your income, in your future is you. Here you go, guys. What I will challenge you to do, a 90-day madman cycle. For the next 90 days, I want you to read, bleed, and speed. Get your mind out of stinking thinking. Get away from your negative friends. If somebody's on the phone and you sense that it's not that I am trying to get to a meeting. If I'm telling you if I'm to a meeting, if I've got another phone call, I'm being honest with you. But if you sense, hey, John, I don't have time right now, you hear something from me saying like that, I'm saying, John, you way too negative, Bo. I got to get you out of me. And I do everything I can to buffer myself against people who are negative. If somebody's coming to me and saying, oh my gosh, my life is terrible, this sucks, and this is, I have no interest for that person or that agent. Now, gosh, I've come through a rough time, but dadgummit, I'm getting better. I'm not there yet, but I got a plan. Now we got something to talk about. Bleed on your clients. Don't let them bleed for you. Remember what I said about that. And your speeding is with a CD. Make your car a rolling library. I love in talking about North American guys, if you're looking for an IUL, if you've got annuities, if you've got long-term care, if you need some help with auto, I mean, we are a full service marketing firm. I'm going to focus on that person right there. I'm not that fat anymore, but there's my contact information, even my cell number. I want you to break $116,000 this year. There's a very specific plan to be able to help you go over $116,000 this year. You put a plan in place. You modify that one slide that talks about how many appointments do I need. Guys, we're just talking about 10 appointments a week. Come on. You talk about doing it either in 2 days, then I want you to be able to set at least 5 appointments a day. That's humping a little bit decent. I try to set 7 appointments on Saturday. I averaged, I think, 4 appointments. Yeah, maybe I have to look at those numbers. It may be closer to 3, my average for 2016. If you set 3 appointments a day for 5 days, that's not killing yourself. I'd prefer, I think you're going to be better by calling on Saturday morning. We'll talk a little bit about this more next week, but calling on Saturday morning to set for Monday and Tuesday. I kind of discount Sunday for the 48-hour rule. So I feel, at least in my way that I set appointments, when I was running on Monday and Tuesday, I would set them early Saturday morning and run them Monday late afternoon, leaving work if I was able to a little bit earlier, and then all day Tuesday evening. For me, right now, I'm setting on Thursday evening to run on Saturday. Call within 48 hours your leads. I've dumped so much on you guys. I hope this has been beneficial. Did I say 500,000? Doug, John, if you're right, I've goofed there. I'm trying to run a little bit too wacko. Phoenix goes up to $400. They dropped from $1 million. They were talking about doing 500,000. I forgot, and they settled on $400,000. Simplified issue. No nurse involved. No blood. No urine. Do I take electronic apps versus paper? Absolutely, Kim. If I've got somebody between 25 and 45 and they're a little bit tech savvy, but I won't on really 50 years and older, I just go back to the old-fashioned paperwork. You can get through those applications that I call a questionnaire. Ease into it. I call a questionnaire, and you can get you pretty much know all the answers already because you've gone through the fact finder. But I love the e-app, the electronic app as we get there. Guys, I hope this has helped. Yes, Shauner, I will email you that. To do. And I've got a couple other questions off the webinar that I will answer. Guys, let me know how this worked. If this was a benefit to you, please go out and make 2000 happen. You know how I'm going to encourage you, how I end every webinar, how I end every conference call. I'm going to say a week from today, we're going to go over live phone calls, and I'm going to talk about the essence of of setting an appointment. I'm going to talk about specific steps to cover on every phone call, one and only one purpose of the phone call, your role for the company, how to decrease your no-show rate. We went over that a little bit, and then I'll go into live phone calls made from our leads. That's a week from today. Don't miss this Friday. Remember, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. we do a training webinar. Every Friday at 11 a.m. I have on an agent who is making it happen. Josh is making it happen. We've had him on about 6 weeks ago, and I asked him, Josh, do you mind? Can I bring you on this week again? I want people in the new year to hear what you did in 2015. He runs mortgage protection leads 3 days a week. Josh is just had a new baby girl, and he's 34 years old, runs 3 days a week. He made over $200,000 of income in 2015. Click on the webinar that you'll get tomorrow about connecting on our call on Friday. Go out, make it happen for your income. Go out, make it happen for your family. You do number 3, you'll take care of those first 2. You go out and make it happen for your clients. You will make it happen for your family. You will make it happen for your income. Guys, God bless. I love you guys. No matter how harsh I come off sometimes, I sincerely say I love you. Look forward to seeing you at our expo in March. You'll be getting some notifications about that. Tell me who you are. I've got a hug set aside for you, and a hug of encouragement. Tell you I believe in you because I know you can break six figures this year by just running mortgage protection appointments. Have a great day.